Which elements? Welcome back. Time for the politics. We're going to figure out what elements means, what tapes are we going to show. Anyway, our roundtable tonight, radio talk show host E. Stephen Collins. He's been on before. Bloomberg's Margaret Carlson. I've known her forever. And Maria Teresa Petersen from the group Voto Latino. Thank you, Maria Teresa. Thank you very much, E. Stephen, and thank you, Margaret.
Thanks, Chris.
So I'm going to ask you all, we've been showing the tapes tonight. We don't have to show them again, I don't think, of the Reverend Jeremiah Wright. He's, of course, a major pastor in a downtown church in Chicago. United Church of Christ Church out there in Chicago, a major figure in the local community. What does, Mr. Collins, what does the candidate, Barack Obama, have to do here? Can he, realistically, he's coming on Keith's show tonight, on Countdown later tonight, can he at this point, all these years later, credibly separate himself from those fiery sermons?
I think he's done that. I think he said that he separates himself. I think the key word here is, Chris, repudiate. He should really divorce himself from a lot of that stuff. You know, you go to a Baptist church, people get excited, they get the spirit, they say a lot of things. I think there should be a distinct separation between what Jeremiah Wright said and where he is in his campaign as a personal friend, and what Geraldine Ferraro, on the other hand, said in the Hillary Clinton campaign. She was an intricate part of the staff there. So you gotta look at that. But I think tonight he'll be a little bit more forceful in that, and I hope he will. I think it's distracting from some of the key issues that are of concern here in Pennsylvania.
But a skeptic, Margaret, might say, someone who's not positively inclined to this candidate, might say it's like the Vichy French officer, Vichy officer in Casablanca. I can't believe gambling's going on here, having been a gambling regular for years. Is it credible that he now decides it's time to separate from this minister whose fiery language is getting him in trouble?
You know, Senator Obama hadn't heard it while he was actually attending the church. Certainly since he's been running, there have been numerous stories about the rhetoric of Reverend Wright. So he had to be aware of it. And certainly you don't want to be identified with it. And I mean, maybe there are cafeteria Protestants the way there are cafeteria Catholics. Maybe you're not one, but no, I am.
I accept the charge.
You accept everything, okay.
I accept the charge against people that don't buy into everything, yeah.
Yeah, and clearly he doesn't. But in the world of surrogates, where people are now being blamed for what other people say, this is about the worst. This is even worse than Geraldine Ferraro.
It's hard to say I agree with my minister, except on matters dealing with my loyalty to my country and what I think of it. I don't believe God should damn America. I think it's a blessed country. I don't agree that the victims are at fault in 9/11. It's not the fault of the country attacked, that it was attacked. I mean, these are fundamental, I mean, these are hot issues to be saying, except for those. Let me go to Maria Teresa. Except for, can a person at this point who attends the church regularly, had the person, his minister, officiate at his wedding, christen the kids, have as a personal friend as well as a Sunday preacher, say all of a sudden I disown the commentary made by this man on politically hot issues?
I think it's tough. I think what E. Stevens said, definitely, you know, the Baptist church, it's cultural. But how do you translate that? I mean, if it was an evangelical preacher saying something around the same, you know, immediately people would be going up in arms. So he definitely has to walk a fine line, but also discuss how does that not necessarily reflect his views, but at the same time, how does he embrace America? It's very difficult. Very, very difficult.
You know, the way he said about Louis Farrakhan during the debate, he has to reject, renounce, and then maybe do something else, which is in the time between when Jeremiah Wright is still pastor and the new pastor comes, he has to not attend that church.
You know, E. Stephen, I sometimes feel, having studied Catholic Church history, that we're back somewhere in the Inquisition now. So many people have to apologize. So many people have to recant statements. So many people have to, in this case, disown a longtime friend. It seems like we're into oath-taking and, you know, torture chambers and will you recant? Do you denounce or do you not? I mean, it just seems very medieval, doesn't it?
It does in a way. I think, though, Senator John McCain was confronted with this, if you all remember just a minute ago. A pastor who supported him, John Hagee, said something, and it was...
the anti-Catholic guy.
Well, but
that's how we know him.
He made these comments, and they were very inflammatory, and at the same time, he said, you know what? They're not there to endorse, he's not rather there to endorse people who are supporting him. He can't do anything about it. I I think most of us want to see a separation because you don't need it. We need to get back to the central issues here in this and the brilliance of Barack Obama to shine through amongst all of this. I think, and the other part is I think the country's past it. I think we're relatively past it.
Well, I hope we're all past race. But the question about Barack Obama, and I say this as someone who has sympathized with his cause in many ways, it's very hard for a stranger to deny interest in where you come from. And if it looks to people like he comes from a highly militant culture, where it looks like he's actually enjoyed the company of a black separatist, that's hard to sell to white voters, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey, Stephen?
No, absolutely.
I think it is. I think it is hard to sell it, but is that in fact what it is? I think that he can get excited. He can say things that are very inflammatory, but he's not his advisor after all. Come on. I mean, I think you have to look at this in context, and I think because of Geraldine Ferraro's comments this week and a number of issues that go to race, this now becomes a very important issue. When to Barack Obama, he's talking about getting us out of Iraq. He's talking about addressing the economy in this nation and the substantive meat and potatoes that are going to get people up and out on Election Day here on April 22nd.
Well, you know, we got to be even here. Suppose Hillary Clinton was going to a church where every week they said women should take over the world, men should get the hell out of politics. I think we'd pay attention, wouldn't we? Anyway, we'll be right back with the roundtable for more of the Politics Fix. You're watching Hardball, only on MSNBC.
I was always congested at night, and that meant a bad night's sleep. I was always waking up very tired.
You know what's great about this card? Wherever you go, nationwide, your coverage travels with you. And that's just one of the many reasons you need the card you can trust. Because with AARP Medicare's supplement insurance plans, you can apply year-round, talk with personal health insurance advisors, and so much more. If you're turning 65 or older, or you've already enrolled in a Medicare supplement plan, call for this free information kit and Medicare guide. These are the only Medicare supplement insurance plans exclusively endorsed by AARP. These plans, insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company, help cover some of your medical expenses not covered by Medicare alone. This could save you thousands of dollars. Want your choice of doctors or hospitals, virtually no claim forms, and no referrals needed to see a specialist? Call for your free kit. Yep, this is one great card.
Call BSI now.
We're back with a roundtable for the Politics Fix. Maria Teresa and everybody else. John McCain said in the Philadelphia suburb today that we might get hit over in Iraq in a spectacular attack by al-Qaeda in order to defeat him for election. What do you make of that?
Well, it's a politics of fear all over again, right? So do you want more of the same? Do we? I don't know. I hope not.
What do you think, Stephen? You think the enemy might hit us to get a conservative elected, a Republican elected?
Listen, Chris, Franklin and Marshall did a poll about the end of February, and they said they're likely to use this fear tactic, the Republicans, the Democrats, and candidates, and 66 or 67% said clearly Republicans will do that. And there we are all over again. I say let's focus on this and remember that you really can stop any candidate at any time, but you can't stop a movement. And that's what Obama has crystallized, I think. It's a significant movement here.
Which way does it shake us, left or right, if we get hit?
Yeah. Well, you know,
because it's happened in Spain, it shook them left. In America, it tends to shake us right.
Right, but all we know is the Democrats are to blame no matter what happens because Bush used this, Karl Rove used this.
Right.
And
If they don't hit us, it's because the right Republicans are right. If they do hit us, it proves they're right.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank
so
you,
that's
Chris.
good thinking. Anyway, thanks, everyone.
Further, we should be very lucky to be in this position.
Okay. We should be lucky about what?
We should be, I mean, according to some of the comments I heard this week, all of us should be real lucky that we're in a position now that we're dealing with these kind of comments from McCain.
Why so?
Well, because the reality is, I just think, based on how Senator Barack Obama has gotten people to become more excited about the process and the promise than old-line politics and fear-mongering and race,
right.
I believe people have kind of pushed that aside.
Okay. I think he could carry Pennsylvania heavily. Anyway, thank you, E. Stephen Collins. I'm talking about the general. Margaret Carlson, Maria Teresa Petersen. Join us again Monday night at 5 and 7 Eastern for more Hardball. By the way, Barack Obama